What's up? What's going on? Hi to read. Got a book haul. My first official book haul in North Carolina. 3 different places. I went to an antique store. Not a great place to buy used books unless you're looking to spend a bunch of money. I went to a local Goodwill, and there's also like a flea market, so I picked up some books there as well. Everything right under $35 for the whole lot. Let's see. We'll start with the flea market. They have a farmers market downtown every Saturday morning, and across from the farmers market, they're trying to set up like just local people selling antiques and tools, that kind of stuff. But there were a couple books that I was interested in, and I picked up. The first one is from James Michener. If you watch the channel, you know I'm very slowly reading Alaska, but enjoying it nonetheless. And my mom picked me up Sayonara by James Michener, which I didn't know that he wrote this book. The blurb on the front is kind of fun. In this fierce and tender tale of love and war, Pulitzer Prize winner James A. Michener probes unflinchingly into the question of why so many American men prefer the tender and submissive women of the exotic East. So, passport bros unite. We'll get around to it. I think I want to read Poland first, and I actually passed up a hardcover copy of Texas, and this is like the third time that I've done that, just because I'm reading Alaska. It's over 1,000 pages. I'm moving on to Poland. It's like 700, and then Texas is like 600 pages. So I'm probably set on Michener for the year, and I keep coming across Texas and Space and all his other books frequently enough that I don't feel too worried passing them up. Of course, when it's time to get them, it might be a different story. Next up, Conquest of Don Pedro, Harvey Ferguson. Nice hardcover, dust jacket intact. It's a Western, but not a cowboy Western. A businessman from the city moves out to, I believe, New Mexico. And so, probably a bit of cultural exchange going on. I enjoy Westerns and not just the cowboy shoot 'em ups. So, I pick them up when I find them if they look of, good quality. And then we're not quite south of the Mason-Dixon, but you do see more Civil War stuff with more nuance here. The Gentleman Commander, character and portrayal of Robert E. Lee, and there he is on his horse, Traveler. This is it's written for younger children, not quite young adults, but I think it's like 1937, and it's always kind of I don't know, interesting how people took like young children's intellect a lot more seriously. I feel like the stuff like past 1960, 1970 is like it's nothing compared to like the prose and just like the nuance that you will find in the older histories geared for children. So nice shallow history, nothing too deep, easy read. I started this one. You'll probably hear about it on the monthly wrap up. Next, I went to, there's like a local thrift shop, and all their proceeds go to the local hospital here. So, money well spent. I didn't spend a ton of money there. The books were either $1 or $2. I've been wanting to read one of these Amish romances, but secretly. Now I'm telling you, it's not so secret. So I finally pulled the trigger. I picked one up. The Fake Amish Betrothal. So I started reading this last night. You'll probably see it on the wrap up. It's nothing serious. I finished a book that I really liked, so I figured, we could take a chance there. And if I like these Amish romances, then Ollie's is always full of them, so I'll have plenty to read. And then So these are I thought that they were kind of scandalous, but they're it seems very innocent, to be honest. So that's kind of nice. Sometimes the romance books are just disgusting. And speaking of which, here's Trailsman, Stagecoach to Hell, John Sharp. I don't know if that's a house name or an author. I've never read anything from this series. June on the Range is coming up. I want to try some more different adult Western series. So you'll be hearing about the Trailsman. And then I got that Robert E. Lee book, and then I didn't know that Richard Adams, the author of Watership Down, wrote a book about Robert E. Lee's horse, Traveler. I didn't even know that. This is how ignorant I am of things. I didn't know that his horse was this famous, Traveler. There's a nice portrait on the back here. So this will be fun. I never read Watership Down either, so this will be probably my first Richard Adams book. I don't imagine reading Watership Down before this, especially after I finish the Robert E. Lee biography. So picked up Being Comanche, Social History of American Indian Community, and I had a lot of fun reading Empire of the Summer Moon, and it was very interesting, just seeing how the Comanches go from Stone Age civilization into the modern day in basically the matter of a few years. Another kind of like Western book. This is what I picked up from the antique shop. I wasn't going to buy it. I found it on the shelf. The spine was just completely blank from just being, eaten up by the sun. No dust jacket, and it was $12. It's not even an old book, but I went home. I looked online. For me to get a brand new copy would cost me the same amount, but it would be paperback. And because I like this author, I imagine that I'll keep the book or maybe give it as a gift. So I redid the spine to the best of my ability. Ain't great, but Daphne du Maurier, The House on the Strand. The main character, he drinks like this concoction, and it transports him in time to like Victorian times basically, but he's in England. So when you take the drink, you go back like how many ever years, and you're in the same location that where you took it. And he is kind of infatuated with traveling back in time, and he starts to like build up a romance with one of the ladies. I like when they write their name and the date in there. 1969 has a cool map. But when he starts this romantic relationship, it really messes up his present time, and so I'm sure chaos ensues. Daphne du Maurier. Definitely recommend you check out her short stories or her novels. Even though I haven't read one of her novels yet, I really enjoyed the short stories. And then I just came home from the Goodwill, one of the local Goodwills. There's a lot of them out here, so I'll be, going and looking at the shelves. I'm sure there's not a ton of turnover, but it is nice because in New Jersey, the Goodwills, they really don't sell books. They just don't. I think they kind of gave up on it. I don't know. Maybe there's more demand for that kind of stuff in this area, or they're just a couple years behind. We'll find out. But hopefully these Goodwills keep their books. Anyway, a lot of good books there. A lot of books that I already read. A lot of books that I know I can, if I want to read them again or for the first time, they'll definitely be at the library. So I didn't pick up everything that I wanted. I did want this. I didn't even think about it. The Stolen Saddle. Who's the author here? I don't even know. Edwin Booth. It's from the Avalon Western series. Hardcover, dust jacket intact. Old library discard. I bet you'll see this for June on the Range. I don't see why not. I'm not the biggest history fanatic. I do enjoy reading history, but more interesting to me is always the local history. This isn't exactly local, but it'll get me started. I'm in the northwestern corner of the state, and this is Legends of the Outer Banks and Tar Heel Tidewater. So North Carolina legends from the coast. Should be cool. Hopefully there's some pirate stuff in here. I'm hoping. Some buried treasure. I haven't read this author, but I have a hunch that it's interesting, and I know people that read one of his books and people really enjoyed it. Oliver Sacks, An Anthropologist on Mars, 7 Paradoxical Tales, and it just deals with people that have, like, I don't know the right terminology. Is it mental disorders, or I don't know. Somebody can correct me, but it has like a surgeon, a story about a surgeon in here with Tourette's, and like different artists that just see things differently, and how they kind of navigate their mental landscapes. And yeah, it's broken up into seven different stories. And then the next two I picked up, these are the last two from the same author, Lloyd Alexander. I've never read this author. This one's The High King. It's a library discard, accelerated reader. Were any of you guys an accelerated reader? Did you get your Pizza Hut coupons? That was like probably a big part of me becoming an avid reader. I always was an avid reader, but really turned it up a notch when, you know, the other kids tried to outdo me and get more points than me. I didn't really take too kindly to that, and I went super hard after that, the accelerated reader program. But Lloyd Alexander, The High King. I'm not the biggest fantasy reader, but I'm gearing up because I absolutely need to read Lord of the Rings. Yes, I have not read Lord of the Rings. I apologize. It's just true. But yeah, Lloyd Alexander, he also wrote The Black Cauldron, which is an awesome movie. I'm pretty sure that's a Disney animated film, an older one. But yeah, I'm sure you guys are familiar with The Black Cauldron. It's definitely one of the cooler Disney films. Pretty sure it's Disney. And then another library discard by Lloyd Alexander, The Book of Three. So yeah, I picked all this up for just under 35 bucks. Stolen Saddle, High King, Book of Three. I did a little bit better than I thought. Anthropologist on Mars, Legends at the Outer Banks. Am I going to be able to hold all this? House on the Strand. Oh my gosh, don't drop them, dude. Being Comanche. Traveler. Getting close here. Trailsman. Fake Amish Betrothal. Gentleman Commander. Oh my gosh. Conquest of Dom Pedro and the Straw That Breaks the Camel's Back. Sayonara. That's what we did. Not too bad. That'll keep me busy for the summer. Like I don't have enough to read already. But until next time, find somewhere to hide. Find something to read. Peace.